Hello and welcome into the Devils in Detail post-game report here as the Arizona State Sun Devils defeated the New Mexico State Aggies 37-31. I'm Hunter Robinson, joined alongside Zach Pekale and Killian McClatchey. All right, guys, so the Sun Devils won. It came a little close at the end there. Killian, starting with you, you were talking about how 549 yards of offense for the New Mexico State Aggies. What does this Sun Devil defense need to do to improve?
See, I think the one thing you got to look at it is it was a lot of, late yards. The backup seemed to come in. Graham said it in his press conference. We pulled the ones a little too early. That's what he said. I think they did. But the biggest thing is this defense played 11 players the entirety of the first half and nearly the entire third quarter before they made a substitution. That's something that they're not going to be able to do going forward, especially when you get into the Pac-12 play, and especially a team like Texas Tech. I know we're looking forward a little bit. They're going to push the tempo, and that's where this ASU defense looked to have the most struggles. When New Mexico State tried to push the tempo, they got going side to side instead of vertically. They kind of wore the Sun Devils defense out, and especially the front four. They couldn't get pressure. It left the secondary out on islands by themselves, and that's where a lot of the yards and a lot of the points came from too.
All right, so then, Zach, one of the highlights of the game today was Manny Wilkins to John Humphreys on a beautiful 60-yard loft pass basically into the end zone. In postgame, they both broke down the play. What did you take away from that?
Well, Manny Wilkins summed it up pretty perfectly. He said they were able to dissect the NMSU defense there. They were running cover 8, and that the safety was able to latch on to the crossing route in the middle. So what Wilkins was able to see was a one-on-one matchup over the top with one of his fastest receivers. All he really had to do was place the ball, and he did that perfectly for a touchdown.
All right, and Killian, keeping with the offense, Manny Wilkins, he was actually very impressive tonight. I know that a lot of people are thinking, oh, he might be rusty. He hasn't really played effectively since October of last year. But he came out firing on all cylinders.
No, he really was, and he looked smart. I think that was the biggest thing. He came out, I believe he had almost 80% completion percentage. I don't know 100%. I don't have the numbers in front of me. But he was very impressive. He completed a lot of his passes. He was safe with the ball, and especially with the offensive line, they did have a tough night tonight. They gave up 7 sacks. He was smart in which he didn't put himself in too much danger. He knew when he tried to step up in the pocket at some times, but he knew when the pressure was coming in on him, let me just drop to the ground, let me not try to do too much and try to get myself injured, especially early on in the season. I think that was the biggest thing. He was smart with the ball, and he was careful with himself and his health.
And then finally, Zach, on the defensive side of the ball, both cornerbacks tonight for ASU were very impressive. I'm forgetting their names right now, but both of them very impressive. Kobe had a pick 6, and then Joey, I'm forgetting their last names at the moment. They were both very impressive tonight.
Yeah, well, you broke it down pretty well there. Joey Bryant and Kobe Williams both had very efficient games in their first games in Sun Devil uniforms. Started off really strong. Bryant got a pick right on the first possession against the Aggies and was able to set up the first touchdown for the Sun Devils. Really big start for him. He was very highly regarded by Todd Graham in fall camp. And then again, Kobe Williams was an absolute warrior tonight. He's only 5'10", actually, but he held his own against 6'6" Jaleel Scott for most of the game. Granted, one showstopper touchdown. But at the same time, Williams was really efficient. He had 2 stops on the 2-point conversion and was also able to come up with a pick 6 where he was able to jump the route and break for the end zone. And he really was able to flash some serious speed tonight. I'm excited for what both players are going to bring going forward this year.
All right, well, there we go. Some takeaways from Killian McClatchey and Zach Pekale, and a takeaway from me. If you're ever in doubt, Zach will make sure to save you. So make sure that you tune in. Next week, we'll be here hosting San Diego State. Make sure that you keep up with everything at devilsindetail.com.